Right, old school NBA fans, self-researched, NBA facts. I got another video. As usual, thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the like button. It'll help me out. I did a video yesterday about my top 25, how many times they got swept. And I mentioned that I might do another video about how many times that they swept their opponents. And that's what this video is going to cover. I quickly realized, though, that is it necessarily a good thing? And I think it's almost a case-by-case basis. What I mean by that is, if you were able to sweep your team so easily, how good was your opponent? You know what I mean? That's something that I guess it'd be up to the eye of the beholder. It's a very subjective thing, but I don't know. Some of these series, now I didn't do the first round because again, it doesn't play good to the older players, you know, who had a lot of best of 5 series and whatnot. It's just not really a fair comparison. Now, the older players, a lot of the times, their first playoff round was either like the semifinals or right in the conference finals right away. So that's fine. I left those in there. But the first round ones, you know, besides the fact that it's not an apples to apples comparison as far as, you know, doing a best of 7 or a best of 5, it's just not the same thing. You know, I mean, what's the big deal about, you know, beating a 41-41 or a 39-win team? You know, it's like, it's not even worth mentioning, really. So what I did was I just left the first round alone altogether. So this is all going to be best of 7 series. So number 25, Nikola Jokic, he had 8 series that weren't in the first round, okay? His only sweep was against the Lakers in 2023. They were 43-39. However, this was in the conference finals. So that's a lot different than playing this team in the first round. And the Lakers had won 2 rounds, and the record improved dramatically once they acquired D'Angelo Russell at the trade deadline. That's basically what he got them into the playoffs and got them the number 7 seed. So to sweep them at that time when they were playing really good, you know, that, you know, to me that's a positive thing for Jokic for sure. Giannis never swept anybody who wasn't in the first round out of 7 series. Elgin Baylor's 21 series, he did sweep 2 teams. The 1968 San Francisco Warriors, they were 43-39. The 1970 Atlanta Hawks, they were 48-34. So, you know, yeah, that's great and all, but again, the quality, you know, isn't really there. But all the rest of the teams, you know, he didn't sweep them because the competition was fierce back then, regardless of what anybody says. Number 21, Bob Pettit, 0 out of his 10 series. He didn't sweep anybody. Again, fierce competition. He would have played the Lakers and the Celtics, you know, 90% of all the series he played. Number 22, David Robinson. Now, to me, these are quality sweeps. 1999 Lakers, they were 31-19, the equivalent of a 51-win team. And the Portland Trailblazers, they were 35-15, the equivalent of like a 57.5 win because it was a shortened season. So out of Robinson's 16 series, he swept 2. Both were definitely quality sweeps, no doubt about it. Number 20, Kevin Durant. He had 19 series that weren't the first round. They were the 2017 Utah, it was 51-31. You know, meh. Especially being on a super team. 2018 Cleveland, who they didn't have Kyrie Irving anymore. They were only a 50-win team, you know, and Cleveland escaped a couple 7-game series. You know, they weren't the best quality opponent either. And then the 2017 San Antonio Spurs were 61-21, but we all know they had no Tony Parker and no Kawhi Leonard after the first half of Game 1. So to me, okay, Cleveland maybe, you know, a little bit, I guess, but the other ones, to me, not really all that impressive, but whatever. Number 19, Kevin Garnett. He never swept anybody outside the first round in his 18 series. Karl Malone, in his 20 series outside the first round, he swept the 98 Lakers. 61-21. Now, this is a quality because they had 4 All-Stars on that team, and they had just beaten Seattle, who was a 61-win team also, I think in 5 games. So the Lakers were looking really good, and to sweep that team, that was impressive. It really was. So he does have one quality sweep, what I would call a quality sweep. Number 17, George Mikan. In his 5 series, he didn't sweep anybody. Number 16, Oscar Robertson. In his 11 series outside the first round, they swept the 1970 Baltimore Bullets, who were 42-40 in the finals. A 42-40 team in the finals. To me, that's not quality at all, but it is in the finals, so, I guess you got to hand them a little bit of credit for that. They did have Wes Unseld. I don't know. I think they had Earl Monroe was on that team, I think. I guess. The 1974 Bulls, they were a pretty good team, especially defensively. They had like Jerry Sloan, Norm Van Leer, Bob Love. They were 54-28. So of his 11 series outside the first round, he got 2 sweeps, one in the finals and one was in the conference semifinals. I mean, it's not bad. It's okay, I guess. Number 15, Steph Curry. He had 4 of them. Like Durant, it was the 2017 Utah Jazz, the 2017 Spurs, which we covered that. 2018 Cleveland, okay, whatever. And then the 2019 Portland Trailblazers, and that was in the conference finals, I believe. They would have had, Damian Lillard and whatever else, but only a 53-win team. I mean, for me, the 4 teams, it's okay. There's nothing there that jumps out as great. The best team they probably played as constructed was probably the 2018 Cavs, who actually had a chance to win Game 1 and didn't. But out of 20 series, Curry did get 4 sweeps. I would say 1 quality opponent in there, though. Number 14, Moses Malone. 83 Knicks, he beat. Swept. In his 13 series, he had 3 sweeps. Like I said, the 83 Knicks in the East semifinals, they were 44-38. Meh. But these 2 were definitely quality sweeps. The 1983 Lakers, 58-24. Everybody was in there. They were, everybody was good to go. I think Worthy was hurt, but the team just won the championship without Worthy the year before, and they had virtually the exact same team, and they were rolling that year, the Lakers. Just the 76ers were a monster. And then also in 1985, they swept the Milwaukee Bucks, who were 59-23. That was a very good sweep because they had 2 players who were all NBA and 2 first-team players on all defense. 59-23 Bucks were a legit team. They really were. So they had 2 quality sweeps in my mind. Moses Malone did. Number 13, Jerry West. In his 21 series, he had 3 sweeps. Like Elgin Baylor, the 68 Warriors were 43-39. The 70 Atlanta Hawks, 48-34. The 72 Bulls was a quality. That was a quality team. They were 57-25. That was in the. I think that was in the conference semifinals. But a 57-25 team to even play them in the conference semifinals. That was definitely a quality sweep right there. Dr. J had his 29 series. Now, I included the ABA. He beat teams like the Floridians. They were 36-48. I know, big whoop. The 1974 Kentucky Colonels, they were 53-31. Okay, whatever. He swept the 78 Knicks, who were only 48-39. The 83 Knicks, who were 44-38. Again, but like Moses, the 2 quality ones were the 83 Lakers and the 85 Milwaukee Bucks. So, but all told, he had 6 of them. So he had 6 sweeps in there. So it's pretty good. 2 quality opponents. Number 11, LeBron James. Now, he had 37 series outside the first round, 5 sweeps, but here's the teams. Again, like I was talking about. 09 Hawks were 47-35. Okay, they were okay. They had no Hall of Famers. They never did anything. They never reached the finals. I don't even think they won a conference finals game during their whole tenure in that stretch. The next team was the 2015 Atlanta Hawks. Now, they're a 60-win team, right? 60-22. But because the conference was so weak, and again, no All-NBA players, no Hall of Famers, I mean, all right, if you want to give it to them, fine. To me, it's not that impressive, really. 2016 Atlanta Hawks, 48-34. It's the same team, basically, just a lot worse. Record-wise, 2017 Toronto Raptors were 51-31. I mean, again, DeMar DeRozan and the 2018 Toronto Raptors, who were actually 59-23. But we all know the next season, Toronto won the championship. Now, they did acquire Marc Gasol, okay, but they were actually one win less than Toronto in the regular season. They got like Fred VanVleet or whatever, but they didn't have Valanciunas was gone. But really all it was DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard. And you could see the quality of the difference between Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan. I mean, it was so much. Kawhi Leonard led him to a championship. And DeMar DeRozan couldn't even win one game as the number one seed, home court advantage in the conference finals. A joke. But again, those are LeBron's 5 sweeps outside of the first round. I mean, he swept like the Charlotte Bobcats, the Wizards, the Pistons, I think, in 2009 without Allen Iverson, who won like 39 games. They swept the Bucks one year, won 38 games. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sweeps in there, but just garbage teams. So many garbage teams. I mean, literally, out of the 2009, 15, and 16 Hawks, those 3 teams, the 17 and 18 Raptors, there's not even one Hall of Famer on those teams. I mean, if DeMar DeRozan gets in, okay, maybe, or Kyle Lowry, I don't know why, they would be fringe at best. I would never put them in. But because they've let all these other guys in, you never know. They might. Number 10, Shaquille O'Neal. In his 28 series outside the first round, he had 4 sweeps, and a couple of them were quality, like the 2001 Sacramento Kings. Multiple Hall of Famers on that team. They made a lot of noise. They probably should have been in the 0-2 conference finals, or 0-2 finals, and they would have beat New Jersey, I guarantee it. So they kind of got cheated out of a championship. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of questionable calls, and I've watched that recently, and you just, there's no other way to say it. The Sacramento definitely got screwed in 0-2, but the other one, the 0-1 San Antonio Spurs. Now, Spurs were the 1 seed, so to sweep them when, 2 years prior they won a championship, and 2 years later they won a championship, you got to say that's a very quality sweep. In 2002 finals against New Jersey, they were 52-30, but again, the East was just so weak. But, it was in the finals, so okay, I guess you can give it to them. And then in 2005, they swept the Wizards, who were 45-37. I mean, big whoop. You're playing a 45-win team in the second round. It's a joke. But anyway, Shaq did sweep 4 teams, and there is a couple of them in there that were, quality teams. Tim Duncan, out of his 30 series, he swept 5 teams, and there was quality in here. Just like I mentioned with David Robinson, the 99 Lakers and the 99 Portland, those were quality sweeps, no doubt. 07 against Cleveland, again, a weak East team, but, it was in the finals, so I guess. And then 2013 Memphis, who was 56-win team, so in the West, who was, the better conference, 56-win team, to sweep them, that's definitely a quality sweep. And the 2012 Clippers, they were 40-26, on pace to win about 54 games. Again, I guess that's pretty good quality sweep. They had CP3 and DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and Jamal Crawford and all that. So we had 5 sweeps out of 30 series. So that's the best on the list so far. I mean, LeBron's got 5, but he had 37 series. So Duncan actually did the same, but in less series, and definitely beat more quality teams. There's no doubt about it. Number 8, Hakeem Olajuwon, his 14 series outside the first round, his only sweep was the 95 Magic. That's a definite quality sweep because the Magic had beaten Chicago, and they had beaten Indiana to get to the finals. They were the number 1 seed, home court advantage. They just had a rock solid team. Penny Hardaway was first team All NBA. They were very good. They should have won that series, but Olajuwon put the kibosh on that, and that is a quality sweep, no doubt. Wilt Chamberlain, his 24 series, he swept two teams, the 1970 Atlanta Hawks, meh, and the 72 Bulls. Pretty good there. I'd say that's a good quality opponent there. So he did beat one. Larry Bird, in his 24 series, he swept three teams. The 1980 Houston Rockets were 41-41. I mean, they did have Moses Malone and Calvin Murphy, so they had a top 75, actually in my list, a top 15 player and an additional Hall of Famer. But they were only 500, so meh. The 1981 Chicago Bulls, they were 45-37. Again, the East was so top-heavy. You playing weak teams in the conference semifinals and whatnot. And the one quality team that he definitely beat was the 86 Milwaukee Bucks. They were 57-25. They had two first-team all-defensive players, Hall of Famer Moncrief. They were, a good team. And, Bird swept them. So 3 out of 24 for Bird. Kareem had the most sweeps. He had 7 out of 40 series. However, his sweeps, like I mentioned with Oscar Robertson, 1970 Bullets, 42-40 team. The 74 Bulls, who were 54-28. Okay, not too bad. In 1982, he swept Phoenix and San Antonio. They were 46-48 win teams. I mean, it's just okay. 87 Seattle, they got so lucky to play them. 39-43 team in the conference finals. Kind of laughable. 89 Seattle, 47-35. Again, middle of the road. Probably the best one on this list was in 89, his last season. They beat Phoenix 55-27, who did have some really good players on that team, like Jeff Hornacek, Kevin Johnson, Tom Chambers. They were good. In fact, the next year in 90, they upset the 63-win Lakers. Number 4, Kobe Bryant. His 25 series, he had 4 sweeps. Like Shaq, it's the 01 Kings, the 01 Spurs, the 02 Nets, and the only other additional one he had was in 2010. He swept Utah 53-29, I think, in the conference semifinals, which it's okay. Magic had 5 out of 30 series. And again, they were, minus the 271s. It was the 82 Suns and Spurs, the 87 and 89 Sonics, and the 89 Suns. So, most of them were pretty weak, except for the 89 Suns. I'll give you that one. Number 2, Bill Russell. Believe it or not, he swept one team ever in a best of 7. And he had 26 series. 26! But he swept one team. That was the 1959 Minneapolis Lakers in the finals. Because like I try to tell people, the competition was fierce. They didn't go running through people, sweeping everybody. It didn't happen. And he was involved in 10 Game 7s. I mean, that's a lot. About almost a third of his series were Game 7s. He just happened to win them all. Anyway, so he had only the 1 out of 26. Because, like I said, I don't even know if sweeps are a good indication. To me, it indicates you had weak competition also. Number 1, Michael Jordan. He did have some quality sweeps in here. 1991 Eastern Conference Finals, he swept the 2-time defending champion Detroit Pistons. Anytime you sweep a defending champion, that's got to be a quality sweep. 1993 Cleveland Cavaliers. They were 54-28. They were in the conference finals the year before, took the Bulls to 6. So I would say that's at least a semi-quality win. And then in 96, they swept Orlando, who was a 60-win team with third for MVP, Penny Hardaway, and, Shaquille O'Neal, a top 10 all-time player. They did have an injury to Horace Grant, which seemed to, it did matter in that series, and I think that's why they got the sweep and didn't win it in 5 or 6. But anyway, I think 3 quality sweeps there for Michael Jordan. I also throw in Isaiah Thomas because I wanted to see what he had. He swept the 89 Bucks and the 89 Lakers. But again, you sweep the Lakers, that's great. But they had no Byron Scott for the whole series. And Magic Johnson missed essentially games 3 and 4. So to me, it's just not really that great of a sweep. But anyway, that's it for this video. And hopefully, I showed you guys that not all sweeps are created equal. Some of these sweeps are not that impressive, and some are. You sweep all these 45 and 48 win teams, in the second round or conference finals. I mean, it's just kind of laughable. It means you just had an easy path to get to the finals. That's the way I take it. So anyway, That's all I got for this video. Thanks for watching. Till next time.